we're going to get started here. We are with the Gathering of Christ Church. We were held accountable. Again, we were supposed to bring light to this world. We read it earlier. Let's go. 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
All right, that word Egypt has to do with bondage. We're going to prove that by Exodus, the 20th chapter. He said he will bring us into bondage or slavery again with ships. The Polynesian people also have this in their history. We cannot ignore this. It's a fact. They were put on cargo slave ships and taken into different parts, and we're going to go into the history today because we got to beat this into our people's heads so that they come back to the understanding of who they are, because the earth is counting on them. The Most High is counting on you. He set you to be witnesses to the world. That's that two witnesses in Revelation that speaks about. Judah and Israel, the children of Israel. Stand up and take back. We claim we're so tough and bold in our neighborhoods. Why don't you stand up for this truth? We're calling you back now. Read that.
Exodus chapter 20 verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which hath brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
The house of bondage. That's what he was saying. I'm going to send you back into the house of bondage or slavery again with ships. This happened to the Polynesian people as well. We're going to show you a picture today for those who don't believe or don't understand the history. Read it, please.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
This would be our last captivity. All we have to do now is wake up. It's over after this, folks. The kingdom with Christ ruling and reigning forever. Think of the big picture here. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right, meaning no man shall redeem you. It was Christ's job to redeem us. Not these other guys that would pop up claiming they could save us and give us the way. They didn't have it. All of them failed. Okay? And it says we would be sold as slave men and slave women. This applies to the Polynesian people. They were cursed in the field. They were actually put to slave labor in the field. Who was working the sugar plantations? Learn your history. You are who you are. So we're here to actually let you know today you have a rich culture even beyond what you were given. And you must return back to it. You are the people. Let's continue on. Let's go to another curse. Let's go to Jeremiah 17:4 to show you that the real children of Israel would actually lose their heritage and forget who they are. And start calling themselves, for example, by others that had nothing to do with them. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever.
All right. So this is why you were cursed. This is why you were cursed. You made the Most High angry. And he took away your heritage. He made you forget that you were a chosen people of the Most High. That you were not what they give you these titles of Polynesians. You are the lost tribes of the children of Israel. That's who you are. Again, you must stand up. You don't have a choice in this. You were called to do this work. You were called to wield this Bible. Go to Romans 9. Romans 9, well, you were called, those that call yourself by all these titles of the South Pacific, you were called to wield this Bible. That's what you must understand. It was your job. When are we going to stand up and actually handle our responsibility? The earth is suffering because of it. Those that actually run this thing and we served as our enemies, if you want to get really into it, were actually the seed of Amalek at the top, the chief. The Most High, they were our arch enemies in the Bible. And they hid themselves under so many titles so that we would never wake up to who they were. Your top line politicians are a part of that bloodline. Okay? They're the ones keeping you from understanding who you are as well. They're all fine with you being on the bottom. The question is, are you tired of it? Read that, please.
Romans chapter 9, verse 1. I say the truth in Christ, I lie not. My conscience also bear me witness in the Holy Ghost, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh.
So Paul wished he could deal with the curse when it came to his people. And we're definitely cursed. And I feel him on that. Sometimes, man, it's hard having to do this work, understanding how bad it's going to get for our people if they don't wake up. Read that.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption.
So the adoption back to the Father belongs to the Israelites. Read.
And the glory.
And the glory, the kingdom. Read.
And the covenants.
And the covenants, Old Testament and New Testament. Everyone's been lied to. Read.
And the giving of the law.
And the giving of the law. It was our job to tell everyone what the Most High's commandments are. We fell a long time ago, though. Read.
And the service of God.
And the service of God. That's like I said earlier. Only the people, the children of Israel, should be wielding this Bible to change this world. It was our job. Everyone has jobs. Our job was the priesthood. The Father said that we would become a nation of priests. All right, all right. That's what you must understand, brothers and sisters. If you're the people in this time, if you're a so-called African American, you are actually of the lost tribes of the children of Israel. That's what you have to understand. If you're a so-called Polynesian, you're of the lost tribes of the children of Israel through your bloodline of your father, of course. Let me make sure I put that detail in there. Okay? But make clear. Let's get this sign for a second. Let's go over this real quick. Let's get this sign here. Bring that sign in. Mark, get that real quick. We're going to go over this real quick before we go into these curses again. These are general understandings, but the bottom line is we were taken into different parts of this earth, and our people, which we're here to visit here today and bring them some truth, a lot of them of the tribe of Naphtali. You're not Hawaiians, you're not Samoans, you're the lost tribes of the children of Israel. And that's what we're here to tell you. No one else is going to tell you this. You are the ones who should wield this Bible and wake up this world. It's no one else's responsibility. Our warriors must stand up in these last days to preach this truth at all odds. That's the only way. The other option is not a good option, I'm going to tell you that. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the Most High when this hashes out. Okay? Now we're going to go through this real quick for those that don't know. We have here the tribe of Benjamin, which are what you would call your Jamaicans. They also went through the curses that we read. We have the tribe of Ephraim. Well, actually, if you go into their archaeology, they have Hebrew writing all up in their graves on stones and everything that were older than those that came to conquer them. Wake up. Learn your history. The Cubans, who have always, man, they've been living low for a long time, are of the tribe of Manasseh. We have, for example, in Brazil, the indigenous people there, and Venezuela, for example, that are of the tribe of Asher. Okay? These people too must wake up. Okay? We have our Haitians here, so-called Haitians. Okay? And I say so-called because all these titles were given to us. They're not what the Most High called us, as. They are of the tribe of Levi. They were the priest. And that's why they're really living low. Because when Most High puts a responsibility on you to represent him, you better do it right. You better not sell out. Or you'll be doing just like they're doing, living very low. So we must wake them up as well. Again, Naphtali, Hawaiian, Samoans, if you're calling yourself a Tongan, all these names, they're great and all, but they're not telling you that you're from the children of Israel. Okay? That's what we're here for, to wake you up. The tribe of Issachar, who they would call Mexicans. Okay? We're here for you too, to tell you who you are so you can get to work. Let me tell you, he knows what he's doing when it comes to work. And he's going to represent this work once he wake up. He's going to bring it. So we're here for you too. We need workers. Christ said the laborers are few. All right? Let's see. Tribe of Judah. Again, what they would call so-called Negroes, blacks, African Americans. These are all foolish titles that were given to us, But we're really from the tribe of Judah, the tribe of kings. All right? That's why everyone seems to follow our fashions and styles that we come up with. It's a natural thing in us to lead. The tribe of Zebulun, Panama, Colombia, the indigenous people there that have been under a curse as well, fitting these things we're reading. They were transported to all places in this earth, transported into Spain on boats. They are also of the children of Israel. Okay? The tribe of Gad, as we said earlier, the Native Americans, another name given to a people who were there before it was ever called America. They are also of the lost tribes of the children of Israel. And let's see who we got left. We got Simeon here and Reuben, who is also, like I said, in your New Zealand areas, your Australian areas, they're out there. So we have that. Seminole Indians. We have Dominicans here, who are the tribe of Simeon. They're on the same island with their brother Levi. We're here predominantly to wake up these people because they are promised a kingdom. And guess what? They're also who the kingdom's going to come through. Remember, Christ told those people at that time, the Israelites at that time, that the kingdom of heaven was within them. They will bring it forth. Now, if you want to see the kingdom of heaven, people, you better start helping those people wake up. No more indifference about what happened to these people. Show them who they are and direct them to us, and we will help them heal. That's our job. Now, we're going to go into some more history here. All right? Now, we said earlier that the service of the Most High belonged to us. Let's pull this back up here. Let's get that paperwork there. We're going to go into some more history here, because I don't think y'all understand how similar those who they say are called Polynesians are to the lost tribes of the children of Israel. How similar their culture is. I don't think you realize it. So we're going to go through some of those things that were in their law. Let's see if we can find some here real quick. Go up a little bit. Let's see.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure. All right. Let's see here. Let's deal with first. Let's deal with this curse here. But I want to get what I want you to find later is the thing with the simile of the priest. Similar situation. Look for that. All right. So we're going to go into another curse here first, and then we'll deal with that. We're going to go to that matter of fact, that James Cook thing there. That'd be real good right there. Let's go back. James Cook. All right, we're going to read about this guy, this criminal here. All right, we're going to go into some history on James Cook, the criminal, who, by the way, that's where they came up with that Lost Boys thing on Peter Pan. Called, what was his name? Hook, right? He went all over the place on his pirate boat looking for the Lost Boys. And guess what? He found them on those islands, and now we're calling ourselves after him. The Cook Islands. They were writing about a Mason, who now the Masons don't want to lay credit to and say he was a Mason. They just give him an honorable mention, okay, because of all the atrocities he committed. Read that real quick.
It says here, the arrival of British explorer James Cook in 1778 was the first documented contact with European explorers for Hawaii. During these several contacts in the following years, diseases such as influenza, smallpox, and measles were brought to the islands. In the 1850s, measles killed a fifth of Hawaii's people. In 1877, the Easter Island population was diminished to 111 people, most of which were old men due to diseases brought over by Christian missionaries and other explorers.
Right, so it boggles my mind how people deny the fact that these people are actually of the tribes of children of Israel. They tried to wipe them out. 111 people left. He was doing this from island to island, folks, for an agenda with Satan. He signed on that dotted line and said, I'm going to go find these people for you. And destroyed from one place to the next. These people are of the tribes of the children of Israel. Okay? Forget about this whole Polynesian thing. You are actually of the tribes of the children of Israel. That was given to you, that title, by a Frenchman. It had nothing to do with you. Your people didn't choose that name. Wake up. You don't really have a choice in the matter, because look, either you wake up. What was that expression they used to say on those gangster movies? Either what? Is it get down or lay down? Either you get down or you lay down. All those gangsters in your little neighborhoods. Either you're going to get down with this truth or the Most High going to lay you down. That's the truth of it. And we saying this as your brothers, man. A lot of us have been a part of those lifestyles and foolishness. But we woke up to the truth and realized we had a responsibility to fulfill by our Father. What about you? Are you ready to stand up and actually deal with these responsibilities? Or will you continue to be in your foolishness in your respective areas just like we are as a people? Read that next thing on there. Oh, you got some, we got some. Okay, good, yeah, good. We're going to bring that out too. We got some cookers today. Y'all better pay attention. All right, read that.
This is, according to the research, it has been confirmed that James Cook, who took 3 distinct voyages to the Pacific Islands over a span of several years, was in fact funded by members of the Free Masonic Order and such associates.
All right. So this dude was funded by the Satanists to kill the children of Israel, those who we call Polynesians. They came to your islands to destroy you, knowing that you were the people of the Bible. That's why they came there. That's why you were put on slave boats and destroyed and almost wiped out on certain islands. These were Satanists. They knew what they were doing. You think somebody's going to come all the way from different places in Europe all the way over to your islands for no reason? Just to go, hey, yeah, I'm going to just go over there and kill some people. They could have chose a shorter trip, couldn't they? They knew who you were. And it's time that you wake up to your true identity. You're called to teach this Bible. Don't believe the lie anymore. You are seriously valued in the eyes of the Most High. In fact, he said you are the apple of his eye. That means that's all he's really seeing. Wake up. You got anything there? Yeah, read that curse there, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 59.
Pay attention to this one, folks.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 59. And the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law.
And when they came to your islands, they brought sickness, just like they did to the so-called Native Americans. I say so-called because they're really of the tribe of Gad of the Bible. Okay? They came to your islands with sickness and disease to wipe you out. Because of who you are. Wake up to your identity. It's not too late. You have a responsibility with the Most High, and he's calling you to task. Learn who you are. Read.
Also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee, until thou be destroyed.
And it's deep because I thought about it this way too. We had some mighty warriors, man, all over this earth. And he scattered us on purpose to make us weak, understanding if we stood together, we would still reign. But he put us in different spaces of the earth, and what did they give us to deal with that warrior energy? Sports. Even on those islands, you're the entertainment when it comes to sports. Aren't you tired of being the entertainment? Don't you want to rule in the kingdom of heaven where everybody's at peace for a change? Why are we so comfortable in being the low of the earth? It's time to want more from your life. And again, we can't wake up the Gentiles because we can't even wake ourselves up. It was our job, we read it earlier, to be a light to them. How can this world go in balance if everyone's out of course now because of us? Don't you know that's what the Most High said would happen? We going on in darkness, and because of that, the world is out of course. Let's go to Isaiah 1 and 3. We are the people. That's just what it is. When you look at these curses, who else fits them besides the people that we actually point to out here? Hey, brother, you have a question there?
See yourself on the sign?
See yourself on this sign here?
The sign right here?
Yeah.
Which one are you?
Who would you be considered? Polynesian? What? What's your they call you Polynesian? Oh, I'm at. Oh, perfect. Issachar right there. There you go. Fantastic. Tribe of Issachar. You got some workers. We need you, brother. That's what we're trying to tell y'all out here. If it wasn't for those curses, brother, we would be running things. I'm just telling you the truth. Okay? So we need y'all out here, man. Hit us up on that number, okay? All right. Praise the Most High. You can sit around if you want to listen. That's okay. All right. Let's go back into it.
This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider.
So the Father compared the children of Israel to animals and said, look, even animals are smarter than y'all and know who your owner is. Even an animal knows who his owner is. What's wrong with us? Why we don't understand that we belong to the Most High? And that's why we're on the bottom, because we're misrepresenting him in this earth. Read.
Verse 4. A sinful nation, a people laden with sin, laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger.
All right, and here's the funny thing. When they show on your news who's doing all this craziness, who do they usually point to? These people we've mentioned on this sign. I don't care. I'll guarantee you if I go to the islands right now and I turn on the news, there's going to be a bunch of Polynesians over there they're depicting as the gangsters of the neighborhood. I guarantee it. Everywhere we're found, we're doing the same old stuff to each other, and the Most High is cursing us because of it. It's not like they have a shortage of information they can put out on us in this media. We pump it out through our foolishness. We must wake up, man. There should be no such thing. Matter of fact, let's go back to that curse, man. 54. 28 and 54. There should be no such thing at all of us fighting amongst each other in our neighborhoods anymore. And that's all the tribes. We're quick to go against each other. As a matter of fact, it's very hard to even tell our people truth because they'd rather hear it from someone else. They have too much of an evil eye towards their brother to accept it from him. Read that, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Man, we used to have love for each other, man. Real love. Like David had for Jonathan, man. Willing to lay down our lives for each other in righteousness. I ain't talking about trying to do no gangster. Well, yeah, he shot my brother, so I'm going to shoot him. Foolishness in the hood where we wipe each other out. No matter the tribe. That's foolishness. But it identifies that we would now have an evil eye to each other. We can't even get along, man. And like I said, I guarantee you I could go right now to Samoa, I could go to any of these islands that we're talking about today, and they have the same problems. Because we're the children of Israel. Somebody prove me wrong on that. Everywhere we are, they flood drugs into our neighborhoods, so we never wake up to the fact that we're the children of Israel and respect each other again. We must learn to show love for each other once more. And that's the good news. Everybody's looking for the good news. That's the good news. Let's go to what Christ brought, what came to bring. Matthew 15 and 24 to show you the real good news that they'll never tell you. Let's see what Christ's primary goal was when he hit the earth. Wake up call time. 15 and 24, yes sir. Praise the
This
Most
is
High.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Okay, so when Christ hit this earth, he was looking for the lost sheep. The people who lost their identity and didn't know who they were. That was what, they'll never tell you that, but that's the good news. The good news is that the kingdom is actually going to be run by some Israelites. They'll never tell you that. Because again, those that rule the world are Satanists. So if Satan's on the top, and he's gonna put his people on the top that actually follow him, right? Common sense. Who you think he's gonna put on the bottom? Could it be God's people? The Most High's people? Of course. That's why you're on the bottom. He tricked you into following other gods. Awesome. Oh, so you okay? Since you probably know the history, if you got any questions, bring her all over. I don't want to spotlight her right now, but you have any questions? You heard the history a little bit?
No, a little bit. I just found out that
Okay.
like my ancestors were from there. So I
Oh
got
man.
more interested in
Okay, that's it. Oh, wait till we're gonna bring it out. We brought out some already. They tried to wipe y'all out on that island.
No,
100. It said 111 people in the history.
they're still trying to take it over. Like,
Hey, because of who you are. Okay. So praise the Most High. We're gonna go into it. We're gonna get some history in a second. Read that. Where we at there? 15 and 24. Read that one more time. The lost tribes are waking up. We're back. I'm sorry. Better get right. If we're waking up, that means Christ is on his way. It's time to put on your A game. Time to repent and put it all down. Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
They never read that to me in church. Because I would ask myself, who are these lost sheep? And how did they get lost? And then I might have to, I don't know, go into the Old Testament to find that out. We all know they don't want us to do that. Because you would find that these people here, like I said before, even out here today, are the lost tribes of Israel that are calling themselves, for example, Polynesians and all that. Those were not the original titles we were given. We had by the Bible. There's no Polynesians in the Bible. You have the children of Israel. They're never going to teach that in your churches. Well, at least I'll say the majority. Some people going to do the right thing when they realize this thing is up. The gig is up. All right. So let's go. Let's go into what would happen in these last days before we hit this history. Let's go into Jeremiah 3 and 14. Why all of a sudden is this information coming out of who you are? You've never heard this before. How did this all of a sudden start to be a thing where on every corner it seems like these guys pop up telling you about who the lost tribes of the children of Israel are? Is it a sign? Read that, please.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
All right. That's what's promised for those that are calling themselves all these names who are under curses like our people over in the islands.
oh yeah, I live by
The kingdom of heaven is going to be for you. Your names are going to be on the gates. It's time to wake up. But he said he would send pastors according to his heart in these last days. Read 15.
Verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with the knowledge and understanding.
Pastors according to the heart of the Most High in Christ, who will tell you the real way it is, so that you may repent of your ways and be a light to this world. We're not out here to offend anyone. We're not out here to hurt anyone's feelings. We're out here to bring the facts so this world can recover. And slowly but surely, they're waking up. Those people that this world is depending on. You may not know it, But it tells you, look, if these people don't wake up, no flesh shall be saved. No flesh. Because they have to come back into the understanding of who they are so they can become that remnant that Christ comes back for. Something there, huh? You may have not examined. So this is not an ego thing, this is a fact thing. If we want to see the end of this and make it through World War III, which is in play right now, these people must wake up so Christ can return to put a stop on all wiping out of people, if you will. Termination. Because that's the end game of Satan. He hates the image of the Most High. All right. Let's go to Matthew 24 and 12. Because the apostles were asked about the end times. And Christ had a few key things like earthquakes in diverse places. Wars and rumors of wars. That's what's going on right now. But let's touch on this real quick.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved.
The same shall be saved. You must make it through it all. With truth. If you ain't about truth, you ain't going to make it through this one. That's just what it is. I don't care what special technology you have, whatever you into that you think is going to provide you safety in these last days. If you ain't dealing with truth, you ain't dealing with nothing. You are unarmed. You'll be better off with a water gun, folks. That's just the truth. Because that's what you're fighting with anyway, if you have no truth.
Exactly.
Facts. Let's go into the history, though. Let's touch on that, because we made statements earlier that the Polynesian people are actually of the lost tribes of the children of Israel, those indigenous people from those islands. That's why they attempted to wipe you out. All right? Let's go there. We're going to go first. As a matter of fact, let's go into Hosea 4 and 6. And then we're going to touch this. But let's go to Hosea 4 and 6 first. Because there's been an orchestrated attempt, or should I say, actually, it worked, in which they took away the proper things that you needed to know as far as education, to stay on the right side of the Most High's will. All right? Let's read that.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
Right, and that's why now we're doing things on the left-hand side. Everywhere our people are, we set up people like witch doctors, shamans, because we lost power with the Most High because we didn't care about his knowledge anymore. But we're still the lost tribes of children of Israel. We are who we are. You couldn't possibly think you were on the bottom for nothing. Oh, you probably bought into the lie that you just ain't good enough. You ain't educated enough. You're not cultured enough. Your culture is rich. The problem is, though, we like to go into the ways of devils. And that's why we stay on the bottom. Okay? That's why we stay on the bottom. It's time to wake up. Let's go to, let's see, Hosea 1 and 10 real quick, and then I want to go back to this here.
Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass, that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living God.
So according to prophecy, in the same place where you were told, for example, you're Polynesian, you're this, you're that. For example, for us, they told us we were Negroes, African American, black. In those same places, the Father said, according to prophecy, he would reveal to you who you really are, the children of Israel. Now it's just up to you. He's done his job. He's fulfilled what he said he would do. He sent out people according to his heart who would tell you the truth. Now you must figure out what you want to do with this information. Will you go back to sleep? Or will you wake up and help change the course of history? That's the question. All right, let's go into the history here real quick. And we're going to get, matter of fact, you got that slave book thing handy? Might want to hit that real quick before we take a little. Yeah, the slave boat. We're going to give you something here, folks. Because we made a statement earlier that those that they call Polynesians also went on slave ships. And not just went on slave ships, but because of that, they were actually destroyed. These different processes that happened. Okay? They were destroyed. To the point where they call themselves by the names of others that their forefathers didn't know. Just like us. Just like us. So we're going to show it. We're going to show, let's read the history, and we're going to show the slave ships that they went on, fulfilling Deuteronomy 28:68, where it said that the Most High would put his people, the lost tribes of children of Israel, on slave boats for them breaking his commandments. Read that, please.
All right, this is out of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Encyclopedia Britannica, man. So even they're telling you. Who do we need more proof from? Read that, please.
So this is blackbirding. The 19th and early 20th century practice of enslaving, often by force and deception, Pacific Islanders on the cotton and sugar plantations of Queensland, Australia, as well as those of Fiji and Samoan Islands.
Uh-oh. So the people on those islands who were actually put into this little slave situation, which they were working the sugarcane field, aren't really Polynesians. They're the children of Israel. We just read to you that in the Bible, according to Deuteronomy 28:68, that the true children of Israel, one of the signs would be that they would be cursed in the city and cursed in the field, and also they would go on slave ships and be sold. You are of the children of Israel. You've been lied to, folks. You've been lied to. Again, you're not Polynesian. You got to break out of that. It's a nice title to have to bring yourself together, but you should bring yourself under the proper banner of Christ, because Christ knew you as the tribe of Naphtali and the tribe of Reuben, for example. There's no such thing in the Bible. Live up to your responsibilities. The world is counting on you. That's what we're trying to tell you. Read that.
It says here, the kidnapped islanders were known collectively as Kanakas. Blackbirding was especially prevalent between 1847 and 1904. The Queensland government first attempt to control it came only in 1868 with the Polynesian Laborers Act, which provided for the regulation of the treatment of Kanaka laborers, who theoretically worked of their own free will for a specified period, and the licensing of recruiters.
Right, so you had situations in which they were doing service stuff too. But the reality is that, and we're going to touch on that, we need you to get that image there. The reality is that a lot of it was just like in ancient Egypt, where they fooled us into working in labor, right. And then pulled the wool over us like, psych, and had us as regular old sages getting beat over the head. Right. That's what really happened to us in Egypt. At first it was all good. We thought we were just working for a little wage. Then one day we noticed the other workers, the Egyptians, for example, started stepping away from what we were doing there. Yeah. And before you know it, they were cracking whips over our backs in ancient Egypt. Same thing happened to these people. So we're here to say, look, it is what it is. They have to wake up. Again, we ain't out here to demean anyone, but we are out here for facts. How can you read the Bible and not be interested in facts? In truth. You might as well just, if you're not interested in truth and you read the Bible, you might as well just go ahead and use it to prop up your table. Because that's about as good as it is to you. You got that?
Yeah.
Read
this
that.
Is out of the book White Pacific, and it says here, Abraham Lincoln entered reluctantly into the Civil War that was to end in the freeing of slaves in the United States. He never dreamed that very war was providing a market for labor of South Sea Islanders to give a new impulse to blackbirding, slave trading in the Pacific. That is, the conflict in the U.S. South and U.S. South created opportunities for competitors who sought to displace the Confederates in the lucrative cotton and sugar markets in particular. Fiji and Queensland, Australia, were the major sites for this rise of bonded plantation labor.
Right. And that's another thing. It's funny. When one tribe would come out of slavery, another one would go in. And they would just repeat the cycle. When one would go out of slavery, oh, no, we got some over here we can use. Because at one point, we had actually taken out this dude, James Cook. We don't even know that history. They got tired of him on the islands killing their people. They took him out. So now it's like, uh-oh, they rising up. Let me go deal with these other people real quick to keep this production going. That's what would happen. You got that picture? Okay, we're going to read a little bit more there.
It says, according to one study, blackbirding as this practice of luring Melanesians and Polynesians to toil for next to nothing occurred between 1863 and 1904. It involves 61,600 people, mostly men, but also some women and children. Another study estimates 62,000 Pacific Islanders went to Queensland and at least 22,000 to Fiji, though others see these figures as rather low. For example, one analyst asserts from first to last over 100,000 blackbirds must have been taken from the islands of the Western Pacific. 60,000 were carried to Queensland alone.
All right. So that's what it is. You're the people of this Bible, folks. You went through it, and you don't even know why. You would think, man, even a logical person, if you're dealing with the Bible, say, man, God must hate me if all these curses just keep happening to my people. Yeah, he's a little mad at you. In fact, a lot. But that's why we're out here, to show you who you are, so you can get out of the way of his wrath and wake up the world. It was your job from the beginning. It was your job from the beginning. All right? So let's go into that. You got that picture? Yeah, let's go to some of these pictures here. Here goes some boats here, some slave situations here. I don't know if you can get that there. Yeah, it's kind of... I think you can reach that. Your curses scream of who you are. He said both Melanesian and what's considered Polynesian. Okay? You're actually from the lost tribes of the children of Israel under a curse. So it's great to have these things in which you unite, but you better start uniting under who you truly are, or you'll continue to be cursed. It was your job to wield this Bible, we said it before, and teach the world. Okay? Now, let's go back to that history I had there. And let's see if we can grab something real quick here. Yeah, the priest. We're gonna try to find these similarities here real quick, folks. For what your people were doing on the islands, that runs into the same thing that the priests were doing, and for example, and what we did according to the law in the Bible. It's no coincidences. All right, let's start from the top there. Yeah.
So this is a point here. Another law was...
This is history. Pay attention. Go ahead.
Another law was that the common people could not live or so much as eat with the priests or chiefs.
All right. And this was something that we're going to bring it from the Bible here, so you can see why they were doing this practice in the islands. Why the high priest in the island would have a separate situation. All right. Read that.
Leviticus chapter 7 verse 5. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that maketh atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offereth in any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he hath offered, and all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan and in the pan, shall be the priest that offereth it.
All right, so the priest would eat that meat in the holy place, separate from the people. The people weren't allowed in there. It's the same practices they were doing in the island, but we're going to get into some even better ones, so stay tuned. Make sure you're paying attention. Read.
That's another point here. There was also a city set aside for a person to attempt to flee in the event they were to be killed for committing certain offenses against another.
Right. So we're going to go in the Bible to show you that that was something that the children of Israel were doing. To have a city separate in case somebody accidentally, for example, let's say there was an accident, someone got murdered, until they had their trial, or should I say killed in some manner, whatever, let's say today if it was some kind of factory accident, somebody got hurt, and you were the person over that business and the family wanted to go deal with you because they lost their loved one, we had cities where that person could chill out until the trial. Let's read that.
This is Joshua chapter 20, verse 1. The Lord also spake unto Joshua, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Appoint out of you cities of refuge, whereof I spake unto you by the hand of Moses, that the slayer that killeth any person unawares and unwittingly may flee thither, and they shall be your refuge from the avenger of blood. And when he that doth flee unto one of those cities shall stand at the entering of the gate of the city, and shall declare his cause in the ears of the elders of that city, they shall take him into the city unto them, and give him a place that he may dwell among them. And if the avenger of blood pursue after him, then they shall not deliver the slayer up into his hand.
All right, so again, Melanesian, Polynesian, you're the children of Israel. Wake up. That Bible belongs to you. That Bible belongs to you. It's your job to teach it. You had similar things in your laws that were found in the Bible, but nowhere else in the earth. This is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. You don't have the other nations doing things like that. It's who you are. Accept it. Accept it. You know, the thing with people today, especially among our people, we don't like to live up to being responsible, man. But the Most High is going to hold us all attached, regardless of us playing our little games. There's a work that must be done. Christ said, this gospel shall be preached to the end of the earth, and then the end shall come. It started. It started. So if you are living up to the right things in your life, hey, you got a little bit of time left right now to get it right. All right? Let's read something here. I think there was another one there.
So another point, most Pacific Island cultures have a traditional dress that they wear for ceremonies of fringe arrayed garments such as the well-known grass skirts of the Hawaiian and Samoan cultures.
So you had no idea, probably a lot of you, why you truly wore those grass skirts and things that you wear on those islands. But the Bible says otherwise. It's going to tell you why you were wearing it, even there, in ignorance. You're the children of Israel. Let's go there.
This is Numbers chapter 15, verse 37. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
Unto the children of Israel. And do what?
And speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So you were commanded to put fringes in the borders of your garments. That's why you've been wearing those grass skirts around. Oh, now it makes sense, huh? You're the children of Israel. But just like always with the children of Israel, we try to show out and do a little too much. That's why they got longer and longer over time. But let's continue to read there. Just like the Native Americans. It's not that much of a difference, folks. Put two and two together. Read.
And bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
All right. And that was there so that we could remember our commandments from our Father. You're of the children of Israel. Again, you're not what they tell you. You're not Melanesian and Polynesian. These were terms given to you. You're the children of Israel. You're responsible for the Bible. The number one seller in the earth for hundreds of years was from your people. Wake up. It's not too late. You can do this. You can help finish this mission that the Most High is putting us on. Okay? Because it's for you and none else. It was your job to help everyone else. That's the bottom line. The whole world is crying out. There's birds falling out of the air, fish just dying all over the sea. Okay? All that's a byproduct of us being on the bottom and not teaching the world the right way to go. And letting the actual Satanists run everything. Wake up. We got something there?
Another point here.
Oh, let's go into this one. I forgot about this one. This is going to really get you. Read that there.
The native Maori language name for New Zealand is Aotearoa, translated as the land of the long white cloud.
The land of the long white cloud. Now, why was it called that? We're going to find out today. Let's read.
As the story goes, the Polynesian explorer named Kupe found New Zealand by being guided by a long white cloud in the course of the day and by a long bright cloud at night.
That sounds familiar. Sounds like something out the Bible. Could it be that these people who think they're Melanesian Polynesians are actually the children of Israel? Let's see if there was also a situation in this Bible in which these people were guided by a cloud. That they just so happen to name their island after a long white cloud. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Let's see if that actually connects to the Bible. Read that, please.
Exodus chapter 13, verse 19. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night.
Exactly. That's who guided you to those islands, folks. And we're going to go into another prophecy about that. That's how you got on those islands. The Most High guided you there. But when you got there, you were supposed to keep His commandments. He preserved you for a time there. He guided you there by cloud, just like He did for the children of Israel, which you are, in the wilderness. Wake up. All right? Let's go into that other scripture there. Let's see. Yeah, right there, 2nd Ezra. We're going to go into what's called your Apocrypha, which King James also had commissioned to be translated. Okay? But they took it out of your Bible and left 66 books. No coincidences there either. They took it out of your Bible and eventually they put it back in, but then they altered the translation to hide the actual evil hand that was going down. Let's see if the Bible tells you how you got to those islands. Read that, please.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 44. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
So it took a year and a half to get there. You traveled, the Most High calmed the ocean so that you could get to those islands. Read.
And held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Ashereth.
Ashereth, which means hidden land. It was known as the New World at that time. Everyone was still in the east. But the Most High guided you there. And you forgot Him. Read.
Verse 46. Then dwelt they there until the latter time. And now when they shall begin to come.
So you dwelt there. You were there until the latter days, the last days. When you would begin to be awakened. So that was just for a time. What you were calling home in these islands, that was just a temporary place to keep you safe for a second from the Most High to help you. Again, but we turned away from Him. Read that again, that signs and wonders there.
Verse 40, 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 44. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
All right, and that was your sign. He kept the waters calm, and He sent a long white cloud to guide you to those islands. You're the children of Israel. That's who you are. All these other terms that you call yourself do not hit it home of what you really are and why you're on the bottom.
That's the program.
The Bible is the key. It identifies you.
That's the program. Who said that?
You can't find one of these terms that they call our people in these different things, whether it be whatever. But today, you know, like we said, read Melanesian, Polynesian. You can't find none of that in the Bible. You're the children of Israel.